Hello and welcome everyone to this new episode of Loremaster Leveling. And we are still on the island. We just rescued Thrall in the last episode, so we are pretty close to become members that are accepted into the Horde, accepted members of the Horde. There we go, words. I guess that's what's going to happen in this episode. And then the next episode after that we will have to decide where we will continue our adventure in what zone, because that will largely tell the type of story that we want to focus on in terms of the lore. So you can see here we have the Maelstrom and Deepholm and the Lost Isles and Kazan. We're on the Lost Isles basically, and we will end up here in Kalimdor. So you have Orgrimmar, which is the Horde city here. And what we have to, where we'll basically, I think, land is here in Ajara. And I think that's where we will start our journey. And because we will start it in Kalimdor, what I have as a plan, it's not set in stone yet, but I think I'm just going to do the level 1 to level 60 experience in Kalimdor. And that way we can tell all the stories that we can think of or have time for in terms of leveling about Kalimdor. And then we will have another character that we will do the same thing for the Eastern Kingdoms. And then when it comes to the expansion contents like Northern, we will just divvy it up where we draw a line basically in the middle here and say, okay, one character does these zones, one character does those. The other zones, that's at least like the plan that I have for it now, but that might change. But I'm just telling you now what I think of how I'm going to do it. Obviously, I mean, I do record these sessions all in advance, so I'm probably the plan is to be roughly a week ahead of you guys. Which means that, I mean, I will read your comments and everything, but the implementation of suggestions that you might have is going to take a bit, so don't be too impatient in regards to that. Wow, oh wow. Is that who I think it is? You rescued Thrall, War Chief of the Horde. Sassy looks envious of you. Well, let's see about getting over to the larger island. I'm sure as heck don't want to swim the strait with all of those sharks down there. Okay. Up and away. While you were rescuing the war chief and saving us all from the Alliance, Foreman Dampwick built this rocket sling to shoot us all over the shark-infested strait to the bigger island. Lucky for us, the foreman managed to salvage a town in a box from the shipwreck. Once you get it set up, we'll have a town of our own. Wow, all the contraptions that we goblins have. Can't wait to sleep in a bed again. Dampwick's down there at the landing site waiting for you. Why don't you take the next rocket over? So yeah. Oh, Galabix.
I'm gonna crush. I'm the traitor. It's me. I got a plan that's gonna get me off this island and make me the king of a shop.
Well,
Mark my words. I'm gonna I'll get you all out of my way.
Galliwix being Galliwix. That rocket looks even unsafe by our standards. I see. Oh, well, he did land somewhere. So let's take the rocket slingshot trip. And while we are doing that, alright. So yeah, the reason why I'll be roughly a week or sometimes even more ahead of you guys is just because at the moment I am doing a research master's degree. So that keeps me quite busy, and I don't want there to be a content drought, which means I want to be ahead of you guys in order for sometimes to be able to say, okay, I need to just really study for this exam, or this assignment is taking much longer than I expected, so I can't record today, but I have content set up so that you can view stuff. There's always going to be a steady stream of stuff for you without interruption. So yeah, that's my reasoning behind that. But it also means obviously that any suggestions will be taken, will be read and replied to promptly. But the implementation might take a bit, or you might not see the implementation as quickly as you think. But yeah, just you have my Twitter as well on the channel, so I will be there and notifying you on Twitter and also on YouTube about any changes that I can implement if you've suggested anything. So just to have a direct line of communication in that sense. So let's turn this in. Tafrona, I'm glad you survived the trip. Not everyone did. Oh, who didn't? Gallivix? The trade prince had an entire town in a box in the ship's hold. I managed to recover it while you were out saving all of our skins. Do you want to do the honors? All you have to do is climb on the top of that huge pile of explosives and push the plunger and Wamo Kablamo instant town. That doesn't sound very safe. Hurry, Tafrona, deploy the town in a box, or people are trapped inside. Oh, I almost forgot. Your parachute. Wait, do I need to talk to you to get the parachute? And why are the people trapped inside the town in a box? This doesn't make sense, but oh well. Let's climb on top of this. Okay, where's my parachute? 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 Okay. Whew, I was thinking I was going to get killed here. And ta-da! Our island. So let's turn this in. Cough cough. Hey, where's the dock? Someone stole the dock and the oil refinery from our town in a box. Who would do such a thing? Where's the trade prince? Oh yeah, I do think I know who did it. Hey, boss, Hobart Grapplehammers wants to speak with you. Hobart Grapplehammers? As a genitive? Okay. Strange. He says it's a matter of some urgency. Speak with Hobart Grapplehammer at the town in a box on the Lost Isles. So it's not even his name that needs the genitive. Hobart Grapplehammers. Yeah. No, that is a spelling mistake. So let's talk with Hobart. There we are, my girl. I have something very important for you to do. Ridiculous. The greatest goblin mind of all time reduced to food detail. I made the micro mecha chicken just for this reason, and they let it get away. Hobart turns a deeper shade of green as his blood pressure rises. Do I look like I should be rounding up escaped cluckers? No, my friend, not I. Bam, most definitely, though he's too lazy. Your station in life has recently taken a turn for the worse. You do it. Take these remote control fireworks and attach them to the cluckers. So, you are quite arrogant, aren't you? But we shall do this for XP. After all, we do want to gain levels. Just so we get out of this horrible assassination spec. We do, after all, want to switch this to subtlety as soon as possible. In 2.5 levels or something like that. Probably not in this episode, but maybe in the next one. There we go. We're at the halfway point. 6 chickens out of 10. Now where can we find the other ones? Yeah. This is also a strange zone in the sense that a lot of the other starting zones have some form of like lore already to them, but these starting zones the hammer oh, we're going to have to kill it at some point. These starting zones of the goblins are kind of tabula rasas in a sense that there's not that much pre-existing lore to talk about, so that's why I also talk about other adjoining lore facts that we get to meet, like when we met Deathwing, when we met Thrall, all these things. Didn't talk too much about trolls just yet, because we will meet trolls later on, so I want to save that up for a bit. So let's see. Let's turn this in. Success. Was there ever any doubt? Really, fire up the poultryizer. Okay, so which one do we want? I mean, we can use gun, but we really don't want to use them, so let's use the one-handed mace, which I think is useless to us as well, because we need daggers, don't we? Let's see what happens. So where did the mace land? Here. And oh, we need daggers in our main hand? Is that it? Okay. Strange. So Hobart thinks he's going to feed us on those tiny clucker eggs. Bah, we're going to get some real eggs. I've already set up some traps on the raptor rise up the path to the east. Take this bunch of wild clucker eggs and lay them in the traps. The spiny raptors will go right after the clucker eggs, and then you'll get to trade up to their larger eggs. Genius. Very much Goblin. Goblin logic there. But I mean, if we do get bigger eggs, I wouldn't mind that either. Is our broken plunger actually much more like a not kaleidoscope? What do you call it? The thing you use to watch into the distance on a ship. A spyglass. There we go. A spyglass. Words keep failing me. Reminds me also of a Ronan Keating song, old one. Something about words. Yeah, I can't sing, and I won't even try. I won't subject you to it. Let's put it that way. So let's go into stealth. We are a rogue after all. We should use stealth whenever we can, just to speed things up. Let's lay an egg here. Oh, and there he comes. Splat. Now, how did that egg become bigger? Like, are the raptors carrying the eggs with them? I mean, I assume that is the logic, though that is not how raptors behave. Even in WoW, where raptors have their own specific lore, and they're actually quite smart. Yeah, I don't know what the people who made this quest thought, but at least it is sort of entertaining, I assume. It showcases a goblin logic to you. Always trading up in the world. Up. Alright, we've got 3 out of 5 eggs, and there's our 4th one. So let's go there and put the egg into the trap. There we go, up. Oh no, that raptor is actually not trying to attack as it's running to the egg. Alright, and where can we find the 5th one? Over there. Did we already use this? We might have, I think so. But then again, I have nothing against quick respawn ratings when it comes to this. It's a bit annoying when it's like enemies and I am trying to read the quest text to you guys. But oh well, such is life. It means we get a tiny bit more XP because we have to kill some things more than once. But it probably will not matter in the end. Maybe at these lower levels a bit more, because it gives you a substantial amount more percentage wise of your XP needed to level when you kill stuff. Trading up. How many did you get? I can just taste the massive omelette we're going to cook up now. Nice. Look at the size of those things. There's no way that Grapple Hammer is going to be able to top those. So now we're going to see what Grapple Hammer has to offer. Bam, Mega Bomb. Who does he think he is? His spiny raptor eggs are no match for what we are about to recover. As you well know, each town in a box is equipped with a micro mecha chicken for just such a dietary emergency. It is? Okay, good, now we know. Luckily for us, my keen intellect was able to deduce the location that our prodigious, pre-programmed poultry ran off to. Head north to the Scorched Gully, but beware, its circuit boards are fried, and I imagine that it's not so micro any longer. Ah, I see. Well, let's go to the north then. The biggest egg ever. That's what the name of the quest is. Oh, that's where the poultry is as well. It is quite large. But if it's a mechanized poultry, how is it producing eggs? I assume there's some form of biological component in there as well. I mean, it would still be a synthesized egg, wouldn't it? Let's see if we can catch up to it. And how would circuits being fried make it big? Well, one shouldn't question Goblin technology too much. That path leads only to insanity, I assume. And yes, having the mace in our offhand didn't affect our ability to use Sinister Strike, which must mean that it's the main hand weapon that needs to be a dagger, even though it says you need daggers in plural. Where did that egg come from? It looks like one of those chocolate eggs you have for Easter, which makes me kind of want chocolate. Even though I'm not a person that usually eats chocolate, I'm much more, being Finnish and all, into licorice, which, well, it's crazy for other people, but great for me, because then there's not that much competition for my sweets, at least. So let's swim over the bay. Yeah, I think there's bay, inlet, river, whatever. Let's swim and turn in the quest. Oh, I'm also starting to get thirsty, so after this episode is done, I need to have a glass of water again. Dun, 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 dun.
Don't waste my time.
So, oh, we're getting our first uncommon item, our first green item. But that doesn't give us anything more than our regular item has, apart from item level. Well, this is going to get sold as well. Eureka! My genius saves the day yet again. Take that, bam, mega bomb. And we are level 8. Nice. Who's top of the food chain now? Fine, fine. Perhaps the whole egg thing didn't quite pan out. Who's up for some shark meat? Oh, what happened? Really load the biggest egg ever into the pulverizer. Mecha nuggets for every genius idea suit. Your brain power never ceases to amaze me. What? We are under attack? Oh, yeah. Shut it down, the eggs are bad. Yeah, apparently there's a smell of rotten eggs all over this place now. Yuck. Well, we're going to get shark meat, apparently. Only one little problem. Well, a big problem, actually. A really big problem. The hammer. Of course, I have a brilliant plan. Swim out into the dire straight to the west and get us some shark parts. Give them to my assistant Greeley. I'm too important to get my hands dirty with the small details. I think this sort of thinking got the whole egg situation not to pan out. I mean, just a theory, of course. Alright, so let's kill sharks without attracting the attention of the hammer. And this is once again where I'd really love to have my throwing weapons. Let's shoot a rocket, which took the long way around. But we managed to pull this. And why don't we actually use these shark parts to, you know, eat them instead of using them to go after the hammer? Just an idea. But yeah, let's get those shark parts and then call it an episode. Well, get the shark parts turned in the quest and then call it an episode. We have 2 out of 5. And I can see our third shark part as well. There we go. Let's swim. Yeah, I remember I was so mind blown when I first saw this, but if you look at the bubbles in the water, they're actually small letters. I was like mind blown when I first noticed this. I think that was in Zangamarsh. I was leveling up my first rogue Kishmet in Zangamarsh and I noticed this because there was some quest that required you to dive into some body of water. Not that other quests hadn't required that, but I just never had noticed it back then. And now every time I see them, that reminds me of that part of my WoW story. Which is probably why WoW has such a big impact in my gaming career / gaming life. Because there are these moments that just keep sort of referring back to itself. Alright, we've got all of these shark meat. So yeah, wow, we have actually managed to get cheap shot as well, so we have a stun. But yeah, I hope that makes sense to you, the whole gaming moments referring back to themselves and creating nostalgia and getting you more involved in the game and attached to it, because I do think it makes sense. I hope it does to you too. If you do have any experience of that sort as well, just feel free to put it in the comments, because we should cherish those moments and talk about them, because I do believe gaming is a great hobby, and it's nice to share those types of moments with other people who grok it, get it, yeah, I don't know where that slang came from, or actually do I have a professor who uses Crockett a lot in digital methods. He teaches us coding, and he's kind of 80s influenced. But yeah, Crockett comes from Stranger in a Strange Land, if you didn't know. Great novel, great science fantasy novel. We talked a bit about the distinction between science fantasy and what I termed fantasy science. So if you like reading and you like science fiction, you definitely should read Stranger in a Strange Land if you haven't. And if you have, you could always reread it. So let's turn this in and then call it an episode. Tafarona, take it easy on Grapplehammer. He's a genius, but he's got a fragile ego. Oh no, I didn't notice. Okay, these will do very nicely. We're going to combine the shark parts and the robotic remains of the mecha chicken into a submersible that should allow you to rid us of that nuisance, the hammer. Okay, so I will accept this quest and then we will call it an episode. So, Goblin in shark's clothing. Combining the remains of the mecha chicken with these shark parts, we've assembled the greatest fighting submersible of all time, the Mecha Shark X Steam. Or is it 10 Stream? I think it's X Steam. Yeah, Steam, not Stream, Steam. Hobart and I want you to pilot it, Tafarona. Go west to the water and activate the Mecha Shark X Steam controller. You must kill the hammer if we're to have any hope of exploiting the natural resources of the Dire Strait to their fullest extent. It's for the good of the cartel. Alright, let's accept this and then call it an episode. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I have been Stinky Bard, and you have been, as always, lovely. And I will see you in the next episode. So, bye. See ya.